Now we know there are many different combinations and configurations of Redo TAV possible, but we can split it into these four groups. And to an extent, commissural and cell alignment is relevant in all of these four groups. However, you then have cells which vary in their design and size. And when you put it all together, as in the case of a tall and tall or a self-expandable in self-expandable Redo TAV, you can see that you create therefore many different barriers in terms of the posts and the cells, particularly if there's an extent of offset or misalignment. So here we can see we've got self and self valves, and if you offset the valve so that you do not have perfect alignment of the cells, you create a dense meshwork of cells through which a coronary catheter has to go through. So let's look at a few different examples. This is an evolute inside of an evolute. The two valves are not perfectly aligned. There is an extent of offset, and you can see how for the catheter there's a very small gap between those two cells, which is impossible to be able to rotate and enter. Here you can see an attempt at cannulating the right coronary artery. What's clear is that the catheter is actually positioned and stuck between two commissural posts of both the valves, and there is in between them a very small space between the two cells through which you do not have much ability to rotate the catheter. Now that's not saying that it's completely unfeasible. You may still be able to fit a catheter, a 6 French catheter, through that gap to enter into the coronary into the relevant sinus. However, it'd be very difficult to achieve a selective cannulation as you don't have as much movement. Now looking at cell interactions, here we've got a poor to code inaccurate neo2, and it just highlights the fact that when you combine two valve frames, which gives you a bigger cell combination, you have more degrees of freedom and the ability to rotate the catheter once you've entered into the sinus because the cells are bigger. And perhaps on the most easy end of the spectrum, if you put an accurate and inaccurate here, you've got an offset of the two valves, but nevertheless you still have space because of the way the cells interact to enter the sinus and rotate into position.